should be good to start now, or at least I should be good. So yeah, this is a VOD review for Violet about supporting, which will be interesting. I haven't watched this match yet, but we will see how it goes. So hey, it's Clone. Okay, so Torb, Zarya, Lucio, Sig, Bap, Kree. And let's see if we actually stick with this. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be weird. So let's just analyze our composition first. Alright. So our tank line of Sig Zarya is pretty good, somewhat mobile. They're okay here on Numbani, honestly. Um, but so yeah, I'll do it from Violet's perspective. There we go. Just to make sure you were actually wearing the vampire skin, because I don't know, I have this weird glitch with the vampire skin every time. I don't know if it's a personal thing or if it's a um, like a real bug or something, but sometimes the skin shows up where it shouldn't. In any case, yeah, so looking at our team composition, Baptiste, like as Baptiste, Bap really likes people to stay together to apply good group healing. He's really good at that. He does decent healing from medium and close range, not so much far range like Ana can do. And he's pretty good with Immortality Field. His ult's pretty good with the comp that we have. I mean, there are people who can use the window as well. I imagine what we're going to try to do is hang out with Kenny up top, and you two just actually hang out together while Lucio carts around the rest of these guys or the tanks. But we have to recognize that, again, Bap really thrives in environments where the people he's healing or the teammates are close together. Um, so, or are generally grouped up. And this might serve a problem because Sig likes to have high ground, otherwise he can get walked on by especially Reinhardt. I haven't even looked at the enemy team's composition, and I'm not, at least until we run into him. But yeah, so Sig will want to separate from Zarya at different points in the fight. So in the pre-fight phase, Zarya is probably not going to find a terrible amount of effectiveness if they don't engage up top here. And they will have to split up. So this may force some interesting situations on our tank line and decisions for us to make. Who's the more valuable target is really going to be determined in the match. We'll see. At least in terms of keeping them alive. So yeah, we can expect to kind of play with Kenny. Because we're such an important healer and they can peek us as Widow, I don't like to peek this corner. I let somebody else do it. So, yeah, it's our Lucio's fault. One thing you can do if you're in voice is tell them to hug the wall. That way your healing shots land consistently. Like if you miss a shot on Sigma, it'll hit the wall and he won't get as much healing as it would if it directed him. But it's useful to tell them to either hug the wall or, yeah, pretty much that. Let's see. And obviously, like, it's just a suggestion, so they'll move as they need to. The field was... So yeah, looking at their composition, let's see when we see. Because there will be a moment of singularity when we realize that our two tanks are getting pushed. We don't have Lucio, so they can't run any faster or any further or more efficiently. So they have to give up their positions or die. And it's looking like they're going to do the second one. So, yeah, they're just getting pushed. Now we see the Reaper and they're at critical health. They have nowhere else to go. We see them looking back, so they're going to drop down. They're not going to stay up here, which is why it's better to drop a field down here, if we're going to use it, than to, whatchamacallit, than to try and use it up there. Although I get where you're coming from in doing that. So, yeah, let's see. One thing I can say is to try and keep your uptime as or try and maintain a good uptime in the fight. And what I mean by that is your activity and how much you're contributing. Like right now, we jump down on point and we come to reload, we shift, and now we're looking away to rotate back to high ground. This is like a good 2 or 3 seconds. We'll say like 2 seconds because I'm not sure, but probably 2 to 3 seconds that we could have been healing the Sig potentially. I'll have to check our ammo count because BAPS got reduced. I think was it 12 to 10? I think it was 12 to 10. But yeah, we're also reloading when we are missing only one healing bullet. So we have full DPS rounds, full healing rounds, or all but one healing round. In the meantime, we could have been looking back and shooting and keeping up our Sig a bit more. And yeah, a good way to enforce your uptime, even if it's not healing, is by shooting and doing DPS. That'll still get you ult charge. Yeah, unlucky. There's no recontest here. We gotta give it up. So, yeah, it's gonna be tough. They're gonna have Blade this next fight. Oh, hey, he actually does. Okay. They're gonna have Blade this next fight, and we don't have Beat because that's a super expensive ultimate. Okay, that's a decent MO field. We just gotta get to cover. So, always as a support, the most important job is keeping yourself alive. The second most important job is keeping your teammates alive, because again, you can't complete the first step, or you can't complete that second step without the first being complete, you being alive and safe, able to heal your friends. So I do like the field onto Zarya here. It took a little bit for it to come out just because you were making the decision, but ultimately I approve of it. The easier and less stressful route to take so that you're not seen by the Genji or not super easily gettable by the Genji or the Rein isn't to just walk right past them and sacrifice your health, but to just jump on top of this bus because no one except for Moira and maybe Rein can swing at you. And your tanks are rolling up here, honestly, to potentially get rolled, but yeah, we'll see because we're already down to. Yeah, ultimately, I would have rotated around the bus up top because that puts us in a good position where Baptiste likes to be, healing from above, and we have a good view of the fight. So yeah, our Sig is trying not to give them space. I think when they regroup and try to quote-unquote push again, we can drop a window here. So yeah, you see that Ryan wants to sort of claim space now. All we have to do is, again, watch for Shatter. We'll just watch for Shatter and make sure our tanks are watching for Shatter, and put a window down right at this corner, like right where I'm looking. About there, so that we can really apply some pressure on the Reinhardt. This is too far of a window. You can see that it's already lost some of its effectiveness because Reinhardt has simply walked past it. I mean, thankfully they're very willing to give Coalescence and Shatter to just 3 targets as 6, so not great from them. But yes, always keep your field back so that you can use it and so that your team can use it without them stepping in front of it. This is a very key thing about like the whole double shield meta as well. Also, yeah, just not our Lucio. We're really staggered here from our Lucio and Kree. Like it's gonna be really rough if we don't just give up some of this space. Like we could have taken a fight like here maybe, even though it's shorter. Yeah, it's also not the super best place to take a fight, but I guess we can go over that later. For now, we'll just go over decision makings and stuff like that. So the swap onto the Moira, we have Hog now. It could work. Kenny's going to die up there, maybe? Okay, yeah. Probably just trying to contest, do your thing. That's unlucky, I guess. We could retake with this fight. I don't think we will. Ooh, that's really risky. Okay. Yeah, we're doing good so far. I just can't help but remark at our Lucio. Okay, so we retake here. And now what we want to do is sort of put ourselves in the best position to hold here. To hold for as long as we can. Ready to give up space as we need to so that we can push out, like push back or pull back, and then push back out with something like Coalescence or something. Um, your objective here on Moira is literally kind of just healing. There's no divine thing yet just because we don't have coal, but we're getting it super fast, which is good. Okay, yeah, we'll get coal here, and then we can push with it. Let's see if we use it. Okay, so we do it to save Hog. We force their coal too. We force Reaper ult, but they're just not ready for it. That's kind of poor on their part. And we trade a Hog ult for it. He's going in. Okay, yeah, you're walking really far ahead of the cart. We can heal him if we just climb on top of the cart. So yeah, right now by going this way, you're exposing yourself. Like if I'm the enemy Genji, you're right in front of cart and Reaper, and that's really good. But if you are somewhere, or that's really good for us as the enemy DPS because we can pick you off with ease. But as a support, sort of keeping yourself alive and keeping those self preservation things or practices, I guess, as sharp as you can be, you should probably be hanging out just back of cart so that you're not looking at any of the enemies and they have a hard time even getting any poke damage onto you. So you can play here, you can climb on top of cart to help clone or this hog, or you could play from this corner. I recommend behind cart right now just because you're Moira and you're super fast. But yeah, like that's poke damage that you didn't have to take, and it could have been a lot worse. So okay, so we're a little low on resource. It's hard to get resource with Rhine around. This is a situation where I don't actually think we need a healing orb. We're all doing okay and Lucio's back. So you could throw a damage orb there and just work on getting your ult. This guy can die. Okay, okay. This is scaring me. Let's watch from above. So, yeah, I definitely see what you mean about getting a little bit lost with the fights. Lost as the fights hang out. So yeah, let's watch your position. So ideally, a Moira is more towards the back of the pack when things happen. She's a really good sort of backline healer when she doesn't need to be frontlining. And so we get grabbed and all this stuff happens and it's already kind of crazy. But then we sort of take a full retreat and you're still hanging out in the very front. Now you have Fade, don't get me wrong, but there's a million things that could happen before Fade that could kill you and be unsavory, I suppose. So yeah, like as soon as you take damage, you feel tempted to Fade, but I think you can do so even faster and always consider your position, I guess, as Moira. Like it's very tempting to go and like suck and stuff like that and do the damage orb thingy and try and push with your team and stuff, but they have to push for you a lot of the time. The only time that we as Moiras can really push is still with our team in front of us with Coalescence. Um, so yeah, just try and keep yourself nice and safe. Be unkillable. So this guy, it's kind of poor. Yeah, so you're just trying to sustain the push. It's all good though. I don't fear that anyone is going to die. I think we can take care of this Zarya really quickly because we have our DPS line up here. So we didn't need to throw. We could throw even a damage orb there. Let's see. So now we have B. We have Cole. Okay, hopefully Kenny's told you the position of them from that. Should also not go alone or not go for that peak because of that very reason. Let's see, so we fade. Ugh, that's risky. So something that could help you. So I'm guessing we didn't know about that, or that information wasn't shared, that they were high ground. Um, so yeah, this is a weird situation, right? So Clone's hanging out towards the back and being sort of the vanguard. He'll be okay. Um, but the rest of our team is sort of up front, right? This is a weird situation, and you choose to go super far back. I think it would be advantageous to stay more here towards this corner. So instead of running to clone, um, taking this corner. Like there's no reason to super over control. There's no reason to give this space up to them. This allows us to be picked off more easily, and it makes it harder for our friends over here to come and help us. So yeah, it was a tough little situation. Uh, Chances are I probably might have done the same thing, but my tendency is to go here. So I can still watch down mid, because they're still a really short range comp, and we have Coalescence. So if need be, we can push or do anything that we need to with it. Um, yeah, this position over here is marginally better in my opinion than this one. Also, one thing that you can do is, okay, your heal orb was on cooldown. Actually, no, it wasn't. So yeah, always look to throw an orb, and then as soon as you throw the orb, instantly press Coalescence. So that's called animation canceling, and it lets you use your orb and then immediately go into your Coalescence, which is really helpful, because if you threw a healing orb here, I was worried that you would get tapped more by McCree, but yeah, he's not great with that. Let's see. They're unaware. Yeah. So that flank should have been dealt with better. There's no saving Kenny. He just went out of position. Um, yeah, we should back. There's no need to sacrifice our own survival. We're not going to be holding anything remarkably. Um, so yeah, like Clone and us have to come back. Otherwise we're feeding like that. So yeah, we die here probably. Um, yeah, nothing super new here. Just your average comp game, it seems. Um, yeah, ball is ball, and that's. Ugh, that's dangerous, but yes, acceptable. Um, So this time we're trying to run double bubble dive with a Hanzo and a Genji, which may be risky. Genji might not be able to have the best time as he would like, unless Lucio goes with him. Thankfully this Lucio is very in, for better or for worse, so he may be able to get some healing off of him. The tank should be relatively easy to heal. It just depends on which way we go. So yeah, Lucio is not a very involved healer. That's unlucky. So, okay, so you're throwing the healing orb to them. One thing that would help is just running a quick little geometrical thing here. A lot of people will think to throw the orb, especially in this hallway. Let's wait till that particle effect goes away. Over here, but because of the shape and the curvature of the wall, this may not be completely flush to this exit. This part is towards the back, so if you throw an orb from here over to that left corner where this door is, um, it will bounce back as you expect. But this curved wall is the really annoying part. So instead of having to worry about that, you can in fact throw the orb up, and it will bounce off the ceiling and to the floor. This will have an almost greater and more effective little orb effect than what we're looking for, or than anything else we could throw here. Also, just the way we're approaching the fight here is um, less than ideal. Um, I think something that Double Bubble really is good at doing is being mobile and working around things, working around these structures like these Reinhardts, these Zaryas to wear them down, and escaping with some mobility. Um, but we're not really good at walking into the Reaper here. We want as many movement options and to spread them sort of apart and like get a clean dive off potentially as we can. We mostly, like in the start with these double bubble comps, are looking to farm coalescence or just basically our support ults. Someone's not doing a very good job of that at spawn. But yeah, we're looking to farm coalescence so we can push with that one, and then we can create opportunities from there for our tanks. But yeah, right now what we're doing sustaining is pretty good, a little dangerous, but pretty good overall. So yeah, we might have to ditch her. Okay, never mind. Okay, we should still full retreat though, because otherwise this is gonna happen and it's gonna get ugly. So a nice little save, and now there's our opportunity. We can push with Cole here. So maybe it's good that you didn't use it here, but okay, we can call this. Yeah, yeah. Um, I'm not a big fan. So yeah, it's not your responsibility to do this. You know that there are still other people alive, and they're just taking their time to get out top. Our Zarya goes in, she grabs, she dies, and well, it's no longer really our responsibility to be doing this. Right now we are actively endangering ourselves by not only being around nobody, but having nobody around us to protect us. Like so like dying here is sort of unfortunate, but it's controllable. That could have been avoided. Like, it was probably like panic because of the turret too, and the fact that they're grabbed and you want to follow up on it immediately, but that's what we have 4 people for. They should be communicating that they're coming. Okay, let's see. So an unassisted blade, not really the best look, I don't think. Um, yeah, this isn't a really great comp for blades, unless it's like after coalescence. Like, something I guess I should explain about double bubble comps and Moira is that mostly these coalescences are looking to become sort of pressure chambers. Like when, say, a double bubble team is pushing into your team with coalescence, and everybody's getting low health, and it's starting to get a little panicky, and like we have to retreat. We're all super low health. Like we have to sort of commit resources to stay in the game, right? When they use their defensive resources, like their coalescence or something like that, or support ults or something, after maybe is a good time to blade because we've used our coalescence to set that up to get those cooldowns and ultimates out of the way. But that one blade completely unassisted and alone was not a really great decision into so many of their team. So yeah, no. So this fight is potentially already lost. Just because it's going to take such a long time for our friends to come back, and yeah, it's done. It's good that they want to invest more, but yeah. So the Junkrat switch, reasonable into Ryan Zarya. It's okay. Uh, okay, this is getting crazy. Yeah, they managed to find a way to die there, so it's lost. So looking at this from above, I don't think there's much more we could have done here, um, except to let ourselves die. I think, like I think it was worth the call. I don't think it was worth the beat. We should let ourselves die because they're committing 3 ults. They have Valk, Grav, and Core, and we committed Coalescence, Beat, Primal. So it's an even trade, which is really, 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 really good for the defenders. We even give them one more. But yeah, like these defenders are banking on drawing out your ults as attackers, and we gave them all they were looking for and more. So yeah, kind of a sloppy. So 2 ults are gone. Nothing really new, I guess. Um, let's see. Junk is just gonna apply constant pressure. We call at the same time. So we're okay. A lot of zoning ults here. We've got a lot of zoning ults. But we were still unable to push the Reinhardt, or to kill the Reinhardt, or any of their tank line. So yeah, we're gonna get Grav Cord here from behind, that's unlucky. Lucio... You know, maybe he thought that was the wrong Grav. I'm not sure, but that wasn't a very good core. Also not a good decision to flank. It looks funny, but it's not funny. Let's see. We're endangering ourselves. There's no reason to pressure this angle. We have no evidence that anybody's up there, and we have no reason to peek that. Because if they decide to come down, then things are going to look really rough for us. Always check behind us over here. Stuff can get dangerous. We sort of beat without Grav, so that's weird. We're going to be down to support ult for Grav, just be ready for that. Okay, so yeah, sort of preemptively throwing the orb. I think these guys need it more now. I get that you were trying to save the Hanzo, but he was already pretty much full health when you had got him with your normal resource. Um, let's see. Yeah, they're just throwing them in now. They're getting really impatient. Okay, so there's a tire from the side. Just have to watch res. Okay, now we burn Reinhardt. Reinhardt's the one who has to go. So we finished with better time. Not much more to go. See, decision making, not a lot was super wrong there. It was mostly team fight stuff. But I'll watch more from your perspective this round so we can watch what goes wrong or right. So now we know they have Echo. They're probably running a boosted Echo if they're sane. Yeah, again, this orb, you can really have fun with these orbs. I'm a big fan of math and angles and funny things like this. So if you feel so inclined, you can even, this surface is curved, you'll notice. Um, by guesstimating about the angle that the surface will launch this orb to the side, you can maybe even bank an orb, let's see, going, I think right here. No, it's a bit too shallow. Right, a little bit to the right of this, on this surface, from this position, your orb will go forward and come back to you, potentially. So really consider, like Hanzo says, simple geometry, but it's really more of a Moira thing in my opinion. Um, yeah, so they're running a very strange, ugly comp, very scrappy with the Echo Reaper. They're running Winston Zarya and Mercy Moira. So not a lot of a time to adapt into this. Winston doesn't have jump for now. We should focus the Mercy or the Echo if we have the chance. Yeah, Lucio, don't even worry about Lucio. Lucio is his own problem. Like he shouldn't be dying as a support. I think it's better to support your Zarya here. It might not have been super possible though. As you can see, this is a rough situation. But yeah, we lose A. Continuing back out. Echo. Let's see. So we're finally coming up on Cole. Let's see. Seems like we just match Cole just for matching Cole. Like just for the sake of matching Cole. Um, we don't always need to. I don't think that was a situation where it was particularly advantageous because both of our DPS were coming back. I think all we need to do is just let them walk, let them do their thing, and wait in the building. Like if Reaper shows up, we just fade out, no problem. We have Kenny to protect us and other people. But yeah, I don't think we Cole there. I think after their Cole is a much better opportunity for us. Like right now would be a really good Cole opportunity. Yeah, Winston bubble blocks that. And now we just go full DPS. Um, Not super ideal just because our tanks are still alive. Like they still need supporting and we're endangering ourselves by putting ourselves in front of the cart. Let's see. So now you're in a good position again. Now you're frontlining again. Okay, that's a huge grav. That's also a huge grav. Don't. Oh, jeez. Alright. Uh, Come on. Let's see. There we go. This is a fantastic spray. Let's see. So pretty much the same thing, just with Kree and Hanzo. I don't think this works as well. Yeah, no. And the reason why I don't think this works is because our tanks want to really be bullies and have this fun little tango of poking and like cleaving pretty much and causing a lot of real big sustained damage. Zarya farms ult off of this Winston who's going to be targeted, and from that, usually a Reaper or a Sombra will look for a hack, open up the fight, and the Reaper and Zarya will be able to walk in on the target and really, really, really hard push. Um, that's what you see a lot of the times with this meta. But uh, we have pretty much two mid to long range players, or just mid rangers, and they cannot find the same effectiveness that a Reaper can in this application. Um, that said, setting up high ground for them is a really good thing for us to do. Let's see, yeah, Zarya's dead. He doesn't know. He, okay. Okay. Let's see. We have Coalescence. Okay, now that we get a pick on the Ana, that's really huge. We gotta push it. Yeah, good, good, good. And see where you're staying for this Coalescence. Letting your tanks engage for you. You have coverage of pretty much the whole point from back here. You can even see who's coming back for respawns. So this is a really, really good position, no? Okay, we don't need any more ults for this fight. But I forget that I'm not coaching a team, I'm coaching comp. Or I'm reviewing comp, that is. Let's see. So we get the thing, and we do it. It's a little bit far up for my tastes, good. So zoning ults, blah blah blah. Just trying to make some magic happen. That's just out of position again. No, we're panicking. Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is really risky. There you go. Yeah. Yep, that should be it. Yeah, that's hopefully it. Never mind, they fell apart. That's poor. Nice job. And winnable. Yeah, we win these. Okay. Well, no real complaints from that. Let's just analyze these last few fights from your point of view. So yeah, Clone's a little far up for my taste. He can die for all I care just because he's not coming to me, and if I go up there, if we go up there, we're probably dead. He has to respect that. Oh, a little risky there. If you're looking for a safe place to stand, potentially you could find that place by this pillar or right side. Kenny does a lean and dies, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a hard thing to do. And here we're really far up. We don't need to be this far up. Our beam has some pretty good distance on it. And we mostly just want to keep this grav, like when we're graving, we just want to try and stay far away and kill the people in grav. Like, you know, it happens, it's what we do. But as a healer, like it's especially important that we stay away from these grabs and stuff like that. So we go over here, we chase some Mercy. You can fade. It's making me nervous just because you're not fading soon enough. So yeah, there was a decent window here once the 1v1 began, or once Torb found you. So we see Torb. Now, here's where we go. Around this side, or something, somewhere. I assumed that you think that you could walk past him, but he was body blocking you. Man, he's really low to the ground, so it's probably really hard to knock over, honestly. But yeah, in that case, that's where Fade is really useful. You may feel apprehension about using Fade and then ending up like, whoa, like right here in front of the team fight or something like that, or ending up right here and having to cross the sight line. It's still better than dying to him here, I think. Um, so we're coming out with Cole. Winston's here. All we have to do is buy time. Winston throws. Getting the turret down is okay, but we need to be back again. Like again, we're frontlining. And our Zarya dies because of this. She could have been kept alive if we hadn't been focused on killing the turret. We can deal with the turret in a second, but the high charge Zarya is going to be a very now problem. Um, Still, we managed to pull it off. And overall, we win this next fight. The positioning here is pretty good because you're right close to the core and back of your team, and you're ready to adapt to all angles pretty much. So, I guess for closing stuff on the Moira, just not only knowing when to fade, but knowing a little bit about where you should be positioning wise in the fights and stuff like that and in the team. Um, like keeping your uptime and your effectiveness as great as you can, you know, finding as much value out of the orbs that you throw as you can, like both damage and healing, and learning sort of the geometry and when to throw them and how to throw them. Um, that's helpful. So yeah, it's a fun thing. I like throwing Moira orbs. Let's see. There she is. I don't really play Moira a lot. But yeah, like if you throw an orb at a corner, it can come approximately back to you depending on how you throw it. Yeah, try and I think a good exercise is tracking too. So like try jumping and crouching and stuff like that, and just keeping your beam attached. Like I can not move my mouse here and keep my beam attached, but something I like to do is like jump around and crouch and try and track from this angle. Like try and keep it on the head or an arm or something, I don't know. But yeah, practice that I think, so keeping your beam attached so you can farm as much resources as you can, learning the distance of the beam. Over here is viable suck distance. You can actually get a measurement of it over here with the way that these patterns appear on the floor. So obviously you can end up sucking from as far as even 20 meters away. And then yeah, sometimes you can bounce them off the railings here. So I just want to get my coalescence. Also a good thing to note too is like when you like get people down really low, the thing that you want to do is also melee and then fade as soon as you can to get out of there. Like always close out your little transactions with a slap. Let's see. Like it's useful for ending 1v1s with low health targets. It's useful just for leaving some parting damage even if you don't kill them. But yeah, Moira is a strange character. Yeah, and anyway, this is what I'm talking about where, so that's also technically an animation cancel, meleeing, and then canceling the rest of this long animation with fade. So you go. And you can also do a little bit of the same thing with not only your orbs in fade, but your orbs in coalescence. So say I need to throw a damage orb in coal, I just go just like that. And now my damage orb is active, finds value. My coal is active, finds value. And yeah. I guess the last one I demonstrated is the orb one, so say, oops, never mind. Oh, another thing, Moira has a lingering heal. So let's, so you can see I've stopped healing, but he's still getting a little healing effects out of him. This is because of her lingering heal. All you need to do to activate this is to actually stop healing once you've started. Just scattering a little bit of healing dust on them. And we can do that. The lingering heal is really useful. It's like a little Lucio. Yeah, if you don't have enough resource to go around, you can right click super fast to get your resource up. And blah blah blah. Anyway, So orbs into fade canceling, so you orb, you can do that. Very effective. And yeah, overall, that's really all the mechanical things I guess I go over with Moira. Um, she's a very interesting character, and yeah, she's really good to learn and stuff. I guess the next thing I'll review really quick is just Bap. So yeah, Bap is a super fun character. Obviously aiming is going to be the hardest part of Bap and stuff like that. Like, it's just the name of the game. But yeah, this character is really one about uptime. So, like, because I was DPSing, I couldn't save those little guys. Um, blah blah blah. Like, they're taking damage. Like, just, I guess a good pattern to get into is shoot, heal, shoot, heal, shoot, heal. At least when your enemies are in front of you like that. Or, I guess a better demonstration would be shoot, shoot, heal. But yeah, try and keep them topped up as frequently as you can. Try and get your ult as frequently as you can. And fortunately, Bap is really good at getting ult, so yeah, he's overall just a really fun hero. Really good. Um, yeah, he's a very carry support, I think, which is fun. But yeah, like, I guess explaining a little bit more about uptime and downtime. Yeah, like right now I'm finding effectiveness because, or my uptime is active because I am doing damage. I'm actively doing damage. This is my uptime. My downtime is when I'm reloading or in between animations or something like that. So as Baptiste, you have 2 magazines to manage, or 2 ammunition sources to manage, your healing ones and your normal DPS ones. And like the key to securing good uptime as Baptiste is literally just knowing how much more healing shots you have in the chamber, what you want to do, and what you're gonna need. Like right now, I can't really see their health bars, but I know I'm gonna need more healing in a second, so I'll invest into more healing. Then I can just use some DPS, just doing my thing. Second round, they need healing. Maybe I use shift or something. All good. Still have a pretty decent uptime, finding good effects out of this. And yeah, mostly just keeping yourself topped up and ready for the fights. Like, ammo management is something that's just really, just truly strange. um, Something I never really considered a lot of the time before, and I'm still getting better at it. So yeah, if I figure out more strategies, I'll let you know. But always think about what we're going to need. Like, how does the enemy win this fight? What are we going to need to stop it? And yes, BAP is fun. Um, with that all done, though, I think that's all I really have to speak about for that. And yeah, enjoy. I hope it was somewhat insightful.